if you want to have a big brand, you have to get sales like every day, no matter what it is. Every day you have to do it. You will never get a sale disagreeing with somebody. The quickest way to shut someone up is just say, I agree. If you arguing with somebody, I agree. The customer says the sky's purple, I agree, but what size shirt do you wear?
Before we get into all the game, I gotta remind you guys that we're gonna be partnering with Fashion Fest. This is gonna be in Atlanta, Georgia, June 6, 7, and 8. All right, on June 6th, we're gonna be hosting a mastermind. I wanna personally invite you to this mastermind. All right, it's free. I'm giving you the opportunity to come to the mastermind, connect with like-minded people, put yourself inside the room. All you gotta do is click the link inside the description. Bonus, what else I'm gonna be doing? I'm gonna be picking some of those people to actually award them with boots at the Fashion Fest event on the 7th and the 8th. So if you wanna be a vendor, if you wanna put your product in front of hundreds of people, if you wanna come and connect and meet like-minded people, go ahead on and click the link inside the description. Sign up, and you might just be contacted. All right, welcome back. Right now we're back at it, live podcast. I got my boy Malik here, one of our founding members of the AYV community. I guess even before we kind of get to like the whole founding member situation, like, can you really just share the story on really before you even met us or joined the community? What that was like. And then, what that process was after you joined the community and how that went.
Yeah, for sure. So, I started my brand back when I was 16 in 2021. So, it's been a long time coming, trying to figure out all these things by myself. I was the only child, so didn't really have no one to, look up to who had a business that was doing exactly what I wanted to do. Then shortly after, I discovered Nick and Marlon on YouTube. And ever since I found them, I've just been binge watching them ever since. And it's actually crazy. I actually reached out to them back, when I first started my brand, do you guys offer any mentorship? Because that would change the game if I actually got that, because they're doing exactly what I wanted to do. And this is way back in 2022, 2021. So I just kept on watching them. Every time they dropped a video, I just kept on watching it, and it just became like a habit. And I feel like I knew them without actually knowing them, because I just kept on watching it. And I started applying some of the things that they were saying, and I started to see results within my own brand. But then I realized that, this is good, but there's so much more things that I don't know. And then that's when I joined their Facebook group. And then when I joined their Facebook group, they were saying that they had, open positions that they were, bringing people on. And I ended up getting on a call with Marlon. Got on this call with Marlon. I didn't even think it was real. I'm really on the phone with Marlon. Then that same call, he sold me this mentorship. And I never did nothing like this in my life. I spent my last dollar on it. I didn't know what was going to happen after. And then 28 days later, I opened up my first kiosk and I made $11,000 in a month. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. So if I did this in just 28 days, I'm just going to commit to a whole year and just see what happens. And the year before that, I only made $30,000 in a whole year, with my brand. And then when I got around Nick and Marlon that same year, I did $230,000. So I was like, all right, we just gonna keep on doing it. And then the year after that, we did 285. So it's just being around people who are already doing what you want to do is just really a cheat code to get you to where you want to be.
Yep. And I would say I feel like this is your fourth, fifth, experience. So what's really been one of those, impactful parts that people should really take away from, coming and traveling and being part of a mastermind event like this?
Yeah, you got to see more. That's one of the biggest things I realized. I'm from the city of Chicago. I really didn't see too many things like this. So when I come to New Orleans and I see that they got palm trees down here, and just seeing new kind of people and new cultures, it's you got to get exposed, because once you get exposed, you can't unsee these things. So now when you go back home, you got a whole new energy about yourself, because I've been in New Orleans. You haven't even been outside your city. You don't even know what it's like outside of this one part of your town. And it gives you kind of a competitive advantage, because you're not like everyone else, because you've seen so much more. And when you see more, you think higher.
Gotcha. And I would say I know a lot of what you do is, making sales from that kiosk. But can you explain the true importance of what the kiosk was able to do for you when, getting us out of there? Because a lot of people may either be hesitant. Some people may just be doing the weekend kiosks right now. But what was, going full in on the kiosk, what does that allow for you to do?
Yeah, so honestly, the kiosk is like the biggest blessing that has ever happened to me. Honestly, I literally call it an ATM because that's what it is, and it helped me get sales every single day. That was like a huge realization that I had to have. Like, if you want to have a big brand, you have to get sales like every day, no matter what it is. Every day you have to do it. And I realized that the easiest way to do that was just opening up a kiosk because the mall gonna be open regardless whether you want it to be or not. People are coming there to spend money, so you might as well just position yourself there with your brand, with your product, and sell it every day. Because you're going to work a job regardless, so you might as well work for yourself.
Like that. So even with, from the simple fact of people that, talked about it may be tough to, hire, because I know you just said you want to work for yourself, but you have times where you have to go out of town. You're here right now. How are you able to keep that kiosk going, with you being out of town right now?
So systems. So, documenting how do you get your sales. One of my best systems I created is my sales system. So I broke down like, how do I get people in? How do I get people to stop their feet and sell them my brand? And I just documented that whole process on a piece of paper. And when I onboard people on my team, I got 6 team members right now. They all know how to sell my product and they get sales from me every single day, so that now when I get to travel, they're still making me sales. And like one of my best sales reps, he made me $100,000 in a year, and I taught him from zero. He didn't know how to sell at all, and I taught him everything that he knows. 17 years old, and just off that sales script. And I keep on doing it, so I know I got something because I took a 12-year-old and did the same thing. So it's like you really just gotta document how you do what you do, so that you can give it to somebody else, so that you can travel and do the things you want.
Gotcha. And I would say, like, overall, what would you say your biggest takeaway from just being inside of the community? Maybe, not sales wise though, but just like overall mindset shift.
Well, realizing that, everything is not always about money. It's like, I realize relationships are worth more, like building your network, building, like, you can't really put a value on like this room right now. You know what I'm saying? Because imagine being at home and this is happening. Like you out of luck right now. You know what I'm saying? So really realizing like it's worth spending whatever you got to spend to meet these people, because at the end of the day, you never would have met them if you never left your house. And it's like, I met people, that I still kind of have contact with. And I just imagine like, wow, like if I was at home, I never would have met you.
Crazy. Well, I got one last question before we wrap up. Like, what do you want to, leave? What legacy do you want to leave, for yourself and for your brand as we wrap up?
So honestly, the legacy I want to leave for myself is, I want to have infrastructure like gyms, community centers where people can gather and have a great time. And when they're there, they're like, wow, like Malik was the building block to make this happen. So like if you ever think about like going to like a football field, it's always named after somebody. That person bought that land, built a football field on it. So it's like when you think about that, like they're always going to talk about you forever. And if people are having good memories on my land, I feel like that's my job, and have a whole bunch of kids too, so that they could manage and do my business forever.
Okay, I like that. Well, I appreciate you, man, coming all the way down from Memphis, always coming to inside the events. Like I said, we appreciate you a lot. You're a founder member. You helped grow this community. You seen us in V1 phase, V2, V3. When we was texting, get on the Zoom. Like it wasn't where like you have a platform and y'all go to it and it's just like so easy. Like the first community, it was text messages that went out or jump on your Zoom. That maybe was 5 minutes late sometimes. But just you've really been rocking with us from the start of building this community. We just want to say thank you and we appreciate you so much. Any questions?
Yeah, one. I always have a question. You said about your script. In developing your script, how did you was it a line or two that you got 4 or 5 sales from that you say, okay, this is the one right here? I mean, how did you develop your script?
Yeah, so really trial and error. But, before, I used to sell, hey, I got some new product. It's only 20. But Marlon taught me the golden circle. So you want to sell the why, the what, the how. So what I like to do is before I even start any of that, I compliment them. Because what I like to say is, when people are in the mall or people are just out in the public, their guard is up. So you got to get their guard down. So how you get their guard down is, I like your haircut, bro. It's fresh. So now you smiling. Can I tell you and I say, my name's Malik. What's yours? You say, nice to meet you. And then after I get all this information, I say, all right, can I tell you about my brand? And then you're already going to stop. And then I say, I introduce you to my brand. I don't tell you nothing about the price, nothing about the product. I tell you the meaning behind my brand. That our generation is so caught up on our phone that we never take the time to appreciate the things that are right in front of us, and we call it life. So anything that you love to do outside, like camping, hiking, even just going on a nice walk, that's what Lost Hearts is all about. I got these new shirts over here, and just for you, they're only $25. And you say that 1,000 times, someone's going to buy something.
What if they say no?
If they say no, then I'll say, what's stopping us from getting a shirt right now? And then I'll shut up and listen. Because if you want to be a great seller, you have to be a great listener. That's something Nick taught me. You got to shut up and listen. So if they say it's time that there's problem, okay, I can make this quick for you. We take tap. So you got to be able to really listen to what the customer's saying. If they're saying, oh, I'm trying to get a new pair of shoes, I agree, but you got to start from the top down to the bottom. Oh my goodness. This is like, you will never get a sale disagreeing with somebody. Like the quickest way to shut someone up is just say, I agree. You arguing with somebody, I agree. The customer says the sky's purple, I agree, but what size shirt do you wear? You know what I'm saying? Like, you acknowledge them, always validate their feelings, and then get right back into what you want to talk about. You don't want to linger on what they are talking about because you're the authority figure when it comes to the selling. Like, you can't let them drag you all through the dirt. You got to tell them what you want them to do. But don't ignore them because then they're not going to buy nothing.
You said it all started with your kiosk. How did you know that the design you had for your t-shirt, when did you know that was validated? When did you know, like, this is my winning design, this is the one I'm going to push?
I'm going to be honest, bro. Like, I really didn't. It was just all I had. And, like, honestly, I've seen a lot of brands. It doesn't matter if the design's bad. If that's all you have and you have a strong story, they're going to buy it regardless. So, like, you just got to really make that one thing hot. Like, if that's all you selling and this is the only option, like, they're going to buy it. You just got to keep pushing it in their face. Like, I used to think, like, oh, I can't keep selling this one design, but there's billions of people in the world. I haven't really switched this design since I started. So, like, you just got to keep on selling it. And then once they get tired of that, just make it a hoodie version.
$500,000 with that one design right there.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I'm a high school teacher. I had kids walking into my classroom with that shirt on. I'm like, that's crazy. I know exactly who owns that. But yeah, I just wanted to.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Well, Malik, once again, man, we appreciate you for giving your time, giving your energy, giving your expertise. We can't say that enough. Just you've really been a true testimony of what is to be an embodiment of the Activate Your Vision community and brand. So I want to give Malik his flowers right now. Give him a round of applause again. I appreciate it.